Oh shit. Oh. Team Silver Strides. Hey, we're here. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Silverstone. This is another visual novel that I found, actually. Surprisingly, it wasn't suggested this time. But I was searching on Itch.io earlier, trying to find like, what can I post about? Because I was planning on doing another password video. But then I'm like, I saw this and I'm like, this is a pretty new visual novel. It got uploaded yesterday, guys. So, this is the first build of the game. We're gonna play through it as much as the game will let us. So, let me check the options. Yeah. Alright, everything's good. Alright, let's start a new game. Now, it gave me a warning. You know we sacrificed trying to get you out of that place. Oh god. This is giving me. Alright, so quick disclaimer before I continue. It gave me a warning earlier when the game was starting up. It was before I clicked record that this is a psychological horror game. It does include a lot of themes, a lot of really not so good themes, and I'm not talking about stuff like, mature. I'm not talking about like adult. I'm not talking about spicy content sort of stuff. I'm talking about like stuff like that, stuff like Echo, sorta. That's the best I could put it, but in its own way. So yeah, quick disclaimer of that, and let me take a sip of my juice. That is really sugary fun. Anyways. By the way, guys, I'm also getting a new mic soon, so new mic, new keyboard, mouse, all that, so the audio will be way better. Do you know what we sacrificed trying to get you out of that place? Why do you want to go back there? Please just turn around and come home. You Silverstone. There's only one thing that still lives in Silverstone, Zeke. Zeke or Zeke? It's the exact same thing with it's the exact same thing that happened when I was trying to pronounce Zob's name when I first played Spectrum of Hybrids. I named him Zobby. But is it Zeke or Zeke? Guys, someone contact the creators of Silverstone, please. You'll only find pain and suffering if you go there. Silverstone. I'm excited. Water slithers around me as my body floats in the ocean. Desperately, I try to move my limbs, but all I can muster is a slight twitch on my finger. Holy sh! We're underwater? I managed to open my eyes, but salt water flows straight into them as if on target. My clothes flutter around as I descend into the darkness. The light from the surface is growing dimmer by the second. The scenery, I feel, scares me more than the loss of light. Why won't you fight, body? Why won't you fight, body? Having no other options, I pry into my memories. I don't remember getting into a pool or a beach or anything of that sort. That's right. I went to sleep in my motel room. The sudden burning in my chest makes me question whether I'm still in bed. However, it feels too real to be a simple dream. These circumstances are beginning to strike me as outlandish. I'm in a landlocked city right now. The motel pool shouldn't be this deep, and the clouds were cloaking the moon, if I remember correctly. This has to be a nightmare, right? And just like that, my limbs unlock. Gasping for air as my body vaults out of the tide, the ocean breeze entering my lungs, making my organs feel crisp and raw. I fear that I'm going to fucking vomit as I hyperventilate. The shock from all the close to me sprints my feet onto the shore. As I straighten myself up, muck slides out of my fur. A stickly mixture of sand and seawater returning to the place it came from. Some of it runs back between my toes, and I instinctively lift my feet out of the water to sift it out. I'm perplexed as to how I got on the shore. I was certainly drowning not even a minute ago. Every part of me is drenched. My muzzle, my fur, my clothes, all of it wet and covered in glassy grit. Maybe my perception of space got warped from the sensation of drowning? Was I that disoriented? Then my theory of dream returns to the surface. If we were in a landlocked city, how am I at the beach? Maybe I'm still asleep? Whether I am or not, my head is hurting too much to make heads or tails of this bull crap. When it hits me like a 16-wheeler, the fridge sensation coursed from my head to my feet and back. There's only one word I can shiver out of myself. Towel. He's a hyena! He's a hyena like me! Well, actually, I'm not going to say it for anyone who isn't in the Discord server or follows me on any socials. If you know, you know. Towel. After a while, I finally took my eyes off my feet and the scum before looking towards the night sky. What I met with fills me with a horroring nostalgia and even more questions than before. I used to run down this beach with my friends and stepbrother 15 years ago. The moon dances on the water, welcoming me back home. It's almost as if I never left the town. I can't help but being wrapped in the moment before the cool air strikes me once again. Turning back, I trudge my ankles through the ocean as I struggle to get to dry land. The muck from before is replaced with dry, cutting grains of sand. It's almost worse than the sticky mixture I was dealing with. My brain compels me to double-check my surroundings. One landmark in particular will confirm if I'm there or not. A shaky chuckle escapes me as the cliff enters my vision. Back then, I was another playground for us. We typically come home with scratches from the debris people dump there, as well as the occasional tick or two. The memory of Mom plucking them off Mason during his first time there humors me a bit. The fog from my breath dances in the air as I sigh. I'm at our destination, Silverstone. The revelation fills me with so many emotions at once. Relief, witfulness, confusion, and fear. The dreamy theory enters my brain once more. Everything is so vivid. And I can swear the wind and the damp fur is real. There's absolutely no way I'd slip for a full day. I refuse to believe Kelsey would lug me out of the car without waking me up, much less to a goddamn beach. Before I lose myself to a rabbit hole, my eyes return back to the cliff. A new structure on top of it invades my gaze. The sight of a lighthouse confirms that I'm still asleep. Silverstone had never been a port town. Even if it was, it would still be around to build such a big structure. The light is also turned off, and I can only scratch my head in confusion, while water and sand gets into my claws. As fake as I'm conceding this all is, it feels all too real. Anxious laughter makes my body tremble. I pitch my arm in an attempt to jolt myself awake. Instead, I draw blood, and the salt water in my fur seeps to the wound, increasing the pain tenfold. Fucking hell! I grasp the wound, trying to suck the disgusting mixture out, and I can't help but retch as the brine hits my tongue. Jesus. Gotta get a towel. I chanted to myself to pick up the pace. My feet transitioned from hammering the loose sand to stamping on the sidewalk. While the beach and cliff are somewhat recognizable, the town is dressed in eerie blue from the midnight sky. A few cars haphazardly adorn the streets. There's not nearly as much as when we lived here, though. Some trash flies past my feet as I take in the surroundings. It's almost like something out of a zombie film. I wonder if the few people that are here would swarm me if I fired the gun. The pain from my arms starts to subside a bit. The wind is only picking up. Not only that, it feels like there's no singular direction it's coming from. I spy a paper cup dancing around the street, like it's an invisible force like an invisible force is playing ping pong with it. It's not helping that it's getting colder. The bitter air pulls my gaze away from the piece of garbage and towards the window of a bouquet. A bouquet. Stares back from the window is shaking. There's a shaking, pathetic, and slopping wet reflection of myself. His hands clenched around his arm. Inside the small shop is a bunch of courtesy crap on shelves decorated with dust. Loser. I mock myself and fling my drenched flock hawk out my eyes before continuing my mission. My search for a towel goes longer than expected, and a trail of wet footprints march behind me. The eventful sight of a homely little shop with t-shirts and towels. Oh my god, it's late, guys, I apologize. And towels outside is much more welcoming than usual. I wrench one of the towels off its hanger, the neon reds and yellows being one of the few semblance of color underneath the night sky. Held tilts to the stars as I begin to cradle the cloth around my body. The stars and moon at the bench front have abandoned me. All I can make out is a black void. It's an unreal sight. No, an unreal experience. I feel as if looking at it longer will suck me up into the sky, my body hanging limp as whatever is up there takes me. My eyes fight their way back down. I don't dare look behind me out of fear that all light is gone. Electricity courses down my body as the unwelcoming inky black of the night sets its eyes on me. Before I can make any sense of this anomaly of a town, my hands guide themselves into my pockets. If this somehow wasn't a nightmare, I just had potentially robbed a small family of $20-something. That purse was almost a robbery itself, though. Water cascades down the concrete as I open up my wallet. The bills inside were torn up, hopefully, or both. It took me a while to stiff my way to some decent-looking ones, and I slid the paper under the shop door. My legs are still under attack by the town's strange air, but I also let a sigh of relief as the towel warms my arms and torso. I try to rub the salt water out my wound, but it's less effective than I thought it would be. At least one problem is solved, though. What I could do now is soldier on until I find a way out of this limited land. I don't know if it's the cold air or the unsettling premise of the situation, but before long, it already feels like my legs will snap if I take another step. This is giving me, what's the novel called? Remember the Flowers vibes. If you guys wonder why I'm not doing Remember the Flowers on the stream, it's because I'm already playing through it and I'm already really far in it. I explained this before. When I do visual novels, if I played a visual novel and I'm already far into it, I'm not going to restart it and pretend like, oh my goodness, like what happened there? No, that wouldn't be entertaining. And you could tell that I'm just saying it just to say it. The only visual novel that gets an excuse of that is Adastra, because I haven't played that game in about a year or two. So yeah. I attempted to distract myself by wondering if this was what lucid dreaming is usually like. Never met anyone who has experience like this, so it's hard to tell. But I noticed that my paw pads are fucking aching from hobbling down the street. I finally collapse. A sharp pain crawls up my spine as my ass hits the ground. The wall behind my head isn't comfortable by any means, but it's not as chilly as it's like. Just 5 minutes. Then I'll walk some more. The ridiculous nature of the situation contradicts the serious tone of my words. No one's ever died from a dream, I repeat in my head. I try to meet salt water once again as I try to wet my lips, dried by the cold air. It feels as if I'm in a hurricane. The unnatural wind is running laps around me. 5 minutes turn to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. At least that's what it feels like. And then suddenly, it's all dead. Silence fills the town, and the storm dissipates. The lack of sound reminds me of those anechoic chambers my professor liked to show videos of in class. A room full of quiet yet loud anxiety. Stars fill the sky again, and the shadow casting to my right tells me that the moon has returned as well. Everything settles into an uneasy pace. My vision blurs as I scan the streets, wondering how to continue. But maybe, just maybe, if I fall asleep in the dream, it'll wake me back up? That has to be a possibility, right? My foot skids against the wall behind my head as gravity takes its course. My eyelids start to shut, and the town around me gets hazier and hazier. The electric hum interrupts the nighttime ritual. The crypt phone booth now illuminates the streets in front of me. My eyes adjust to the light, and I notice that the paint is chipped off the sides of the structure. Not only that, but the door is off track and slightly ajar. I remember using the booth once or twice as a kid, but it's never been this worn down. It's a miracle the light inside even works. Oh, stop. A ring from the phone jolts me up to my feet. I wait a bit to see if my brain is just playing a sick prank on me. It doesn't stop. I start to head over, going as fast as my weary legs can take me. The door fights against me, and a loud snap echoes through the air as I set it free. No need for privacy anyways. Dread begins to overwhelm me once I plant my feet in front of the phone. Something is adding up. I let the phone off and cradle before the realization strikes me. Payphones aren't supposed to get incoming calls. Are you kidding me? Before a word is even uttered, I feel as if I've invited a primordial force straight into my home. My quivering breath grows and volume must have finally been the phone to my ear, the device shaking as I struggle to steady my hand. And so the lamb returns to join the slaughter. The voice that called from the device isn't what I expected. It's deep and husky, frightening yet seductive. I haven't had a clue why you returned, young one. I look forward to our reunion. A faint chuckle that seeped through the phone, light, the wind, fire, silence. The warm tone they give outside just makes it feel like whoever this is sees this whole situation as a joke. What the fuck is this? I'm done with this sick bullshit. I just want to wake up. Dead air fills the conversation when I throw the question at them. Soft mumbles seep through. I can't understand the lick of it. My name is clearly irrelevant. Just call me what you will. The stranger's tone returns to their sultry charisma, which led me to more confusion and anger. Whatever. You're not real. You're just more of this stupid nonsense this dream is thinking of. I'm about to bring the phone back down. A sharp, burning sensation courses down my wrist to my elbow. The pain splits like the roots of a tree dividing itself to conquer every vein in my arm. I can't help but let out a gasp of air as I grip my arm tight as if it would stop the sensation. I almost fell to the floor, but I managed to prevent my knees from buckling. Whoever's on the other end seems delighted with my situation. I can assure you, I'm very much real, Mr. Hanks. A loud snap rings the phone, and the echo pulling the torturous agony in my heart. Oh, what the? I just back to reality, and that's the only way I realized I'm more than wet before. Sweat drips off my muzzle to the metal floor of the building. Now, are we ready to be more cordial with one another? Despite my reservation about whoever or whatever this is, going nodding my head like an idiot. My only audience is the glass panels around me. A quiet yet sinister chuckle escapes him, as if the stranger conceded to the device. Most people would yell like a barbarian again. You've grown into quite the young man, Ezekiel. Ezekiel. Ezekiel? 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 I'm terrible with names, guys. Never call me that. The voice that bellows out at me is unlike anything I've heard from myself. Maybe because I don't know who's on the other end. I tense up, preparing for another lash of the torture from before. Apologies. I forgot you don't like that name. The repentant tone from a stranger doesn't fully ease my worries. Nevertheless, my shoulders sink down from the bottom of my ears. If it would be alright with you, I'd much rather prefer if we could talk face to face. Face to face? Well, I'm trying to wake up. I want to escape this nightmare. You are the patient. What do you mean, patient? And I'm your caretaker, Mr. Haynes. Oof, that's bright now. The environment adjusts itself from a deep midnight blue to a sickly bright red, as it's now near impossible to tell apart the glow from the other colors on the buildings. If you would, please come to the lighthouse. I'd like for us to catch up. Odd statement pulls me away from the new color and back onto the call. Catch up? The fuck you mean, catch up? Before I got to hear an answer, the tone dial swells forth. More irritated than ever, I slam the phone back down and set my sights on my destination. The Silverstone Lighthouse. I almost wish I stayed at the booth as I take a look around. The garnished mixtures of red, pinks, and browns cause my stomach to churn for some reason. While bringing my towel closer to me, I begin to walk. Occasionally, I pat myself dry from the sweat. The attempts are futile, however. The ocean wire is already burrowed into my shirt, sticks to my torso like glue, and the sweat won't stop due to all the nausea the light gives me. I try to look away from the buildings, but it's almost as if the light causes the wood and bricks to dance away into the night. It's horrifically memorizing. There's a line before I stumble off the sidewalk and into the bushes leading up to the lighthouse. The ghastly combination of salt water and stomach acid expels from my body, the vomit coating the tip of my mouth. Oh, God. The sensation of vomiting is just as bad when lucid dreaming as it is in the real world. Harsh, burning, and unwelcoming. My back arches. Arches? Arches visual novel chat? You guys should totally go check that out. And more bile rises from my stomach to my throat. Hypnotic spirals that the dancing walls create have turned down from the dead wasteland to the equivalent of a college rave. Somehow, it's an unpleasant change. I fall back into the forest, hoping I can find some solace beneath the branches and leaves. The trees are the only protection I'm able to get from the haunting signal. The little light I can peek through isn't enough to become an medic. One tree that's fallen over has become victim to the light. However, I noticed a knot on the wood starting to spiral, consuming and regurgitating its shape over and over. I jerk my vision away and bring my eyes down to the dirt path in front of me. Step by step, my feet play a game where the beams shining through the trees is almost like a dance to avoid the red light. As the trail brightens, when I get closer to the cliff, the pit opens deep down in my stomach. I debate about returning back. My pace, my pace, my pace slowing them as the intensity of light increases. Sorry, guys. Despite knowing it's all a stupid goddamn dream, my anxiety climbs down to the ladder from my brain to my heart. The speed my heart beats is unlike anything I've ever felt before. The drumming from it pounds my ears, and it's almost worse than anxiety itself. Once my foot cover runs out, however, something tells me it's too late. The intensity of the glow makes the open cliff feel oppressive. I can't help but feel as if I take one step backwards, the trees will guard my arms and take me to my grave. The threat to the lighthouse is one of the most vile things I've ever seen. Grains of sand and turn from innocent bystanders to worm-like creatures as the red glow illuminates it. I stumble onto the grass and frantically throwing the bits of sand off my feet. I've always had issues with larvae and maggots. Oh god, I just realized the picture's warped. The background's warping, and that's making me nauseous, dude. As if the trail peered deep into my soul. Trying to get up, but the ground beneath my hand crumbles. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. I chant over and over, pleading myself to pull my hands up from the dirt and return to my feet. Regardless, I disobey. As my eyes met the black chasm of water below, the echoes of falling rocks colliding against the cliffside ring. Cliffside? Like my visual novel Cliffside that's gonna be worked on soon? Guys, it's gonna get worked on soon. Oh, it's gonna get worked on soon, chat. It's gonna get worked on. You guys are gonna love it. I hope, at least. I hope I'm doing something. The impact of the rubble is like hearing a pin drop. I can't help but watch the waves dance with each other as the red light reaches deep below the broken white, occasionally resembling a crude smile. All silence is broken by a wavering hum coming from the top of the lighthouse. The noise brings back to my senses. I roll to my stomach and plant my hand on the sturdy ground before I finally push myself back up to my feet. My body sways as I drag myself along the sand, the sky, and possibly spinning around the cliff. It's as if we were in the center of a Z-trope, and the night is moving pictures. Soon I find myself at the door. My gut twists into a knot as I wrap my hand around the doorknob. It's like a sinking ship is going down deep into the bile. I hesitate to open the door, hoping to sit down and figure out this non-use. I'm not even gonna pronounce that. Hellscape in my brain jumps up. That's when I hear the taps. The taps grow into steps, then the steps grow into stomps. My neck is as stiff as a board. Whatever this thing is, my body is telling me to get it out. Then the silence returns, along with something cold and rancid brushing past my foot. I swing the door open and trap myself in the lighthouse, only getting a brief peek at the beast that was standing behind me. The dizzy fizz caused the red light is gone, but my hyperventilating doesn't quell my nausea. My body dances its way up the wall, and I can't help but stare at the old wooden door. The first physical being I met in this nightmare, and it was trying to kill me. The fuck was that thing? My yells echo their way up the spiral tower, bringing me back down to reality. After a few deep breaths, I begin my ascent. Physics have gone forever. I can only hope it's just a dark enclosure wrapping my perception of time, not our torture method being conquered. To my pleasant surprise, it wasn't much longer before I reached the top. What is peculiar, however, is the spotless orient door that greets me. It's like those stairs that you randomly find in the middle of the woods, but in real life. I expect the giant lamp to cast a red glow into the stairwell, but inside the room appears to have its lights shut off. Without much of a choice, I enter. Instead of being greeted at the top of the lighthouse, I met with something resembling Grandma's stuffy living room. I feel shag carpet under my feet as I enter, the matting quickly soaking up the water and sand. Sorry, I'm getting texted, guys. A faint light shines through the hallway opening from the flickering. I'm guessing some candle is about to burn out. I can't help but yell as the door slams behind me. The force is strong, pain throbs in my arm from still holding on. Yo, we spoke on the phone in town? Are you still up here, man? Nothing. As if I'm on autopilot, my feet bring me to the next room. When I see the desk, my guess is that I'm in a writing room of sorts. A fairly old one, judging by the worn paper and, and the quill and the ink bottle to the side. It's only now that I'm able to garnish pink floral wallpaper, which seems to be tearing at the seams of the year's neglect. Old books and essay litter the floor, so much that I end up stubbing my toe into encyclopedias multiple times. Someone has to be here. I don't want to leave the place alone with lit candles, right? And again, this is a nightmare. Ears perk up as I hear flames spark into existence. A harsher light flickers on in the next room over and shadow casts itself against the wall. His appearance is of a canid. The figure moving keeps me from guessing the species exactly, though. I guess I won't find out until I enter. I take a step in and... Oh, shit! Oh, shit. Oh, thumbnail shot, guys. Thumbnail shot. The jackal, cloaked in what can only be described as a crawling ink bolt, holds me by the throat. Shadows dance around them, their smell rebelling of that toxic fumes. The only semblance of light comes from where their eyes would be. They open their snout briefly, and the ink wraps around itself each and every fang that the jackal has. They tower over me, my feet dangling in the air as they lift my entire body up with just one hand. Aye, aye, aye. Look at... Ooh. Really, grabbed him. The person caresses their thumb across my cheek, using it to help my head as if they're examining me. Apologies. I've been expecting you, Ezekiel. Hi. Who are you? Not gonna lie, he looks kind of hot though. Only when the jackal sets me down do I realize how tight their grip was on my neck. Wheezing escapes me as I try to shovel air into my system. The jackal pays it no mind though, instead closing the book and shoveling it. I thought you would have arrived a tad later. Pity it was a good chapter. My breath finally catches up to me and I hobble up to my feet, instinctively grabbing onto the table as my knees weaken. You mortals really are frail. I forgot about that. Don't get visitors often. My attempt to come back goes largely ignored, the jackal instead beckoning over some expensive chairs. They tap a digit on the small green one, presumably to say this one's mine. Despite my reluctancy, I walked over and seated myself. The questionable canid heads into another room. Then another candle is set alight. From what I can glimpse from wherever I'm seated, I can see the jackal waving their hands to open some cabinet doors. Are you craving something? I've got tea, some gingerbread cookies. I'm really not that fucking hungry right now. Oh, please don't be so barbaric, Ezekiel. No language like that in my domain, please. I'm pretty sure I told you I don't want to be called that. Jackal walks back, and the kitchen candle blowing itself out as I stride towards the red chair across from me. In the short time they were gone, they made a new pot of tea. Despite how old-fashioned this being seemed to be, they owned an electric kettle of all things. You did, Zeke. You did, Zeke. It's so unrefined. However, I prefer Ezekiel much more. I'm not going to talk you out of it if you keep calling me that. Jacko lets out a mix of a snarl and a sigh, breaking their concentration away from me. I try to make that the Jacko's expression, but if I had to guess, it would be unamused. They take a sip of the tea before returning their gaze to me. You seem awfully calm for someone who's meeting an immortal being, Mr. Hayes. Right. But this is all just a fucking bad lucid dream. So I'm just riding the wave until I either die in it or wake up. Hey! Jacko darts out of the chair, slapping me across the face. The shock is enough to throw me off my train of thought. They walk back to their seat, picking up their tea from the vanity to set on. Language. I readjust myself as the K-Maid sits back down, taking another sip of tea. The shadowy ink molding itself around their fangs hides the brew entering their mouth. Neville. Yes, this is a dream. Yes, this is a dream. In moral definitions, you retire to bed and enter a state of REM sleep, where your consciousness creates an escape for you to live in for 6 to 8 hours. Yes, that's what a dream is. However, you are correct. Sorry, I'm thirsty. However, through our connection, I am able to commandeer these worlds to make you Mr. Haynes. The only reason I haven't done so yet is because you left Silverstone many years ago. Your return to the catalyst to me hitching a ride, and very soon we could complete what you didn't all those years prior. Still, my snout hanging open, unable to comprehend what's being talked about. All I know is that I would have remembered knowing, talking to, or hell, even seeing a person such as this if I had encountered them before. Jacko's cloak almost scrunches as they frown, dissatisfied with my lack of response. A sigh escapes them as they return my way, almost in a pensive state. I suppose that my fondness wouldn't be replicated. It was pretty traumatic by moral standards. Traumatic connection? You know what? Whatever. Going back. Even though whatever bull crap you're spewing will probably make sense. Yes, I suppose it will. But don't take my hospitality lightly, Mr. Hayes. We are not allies. We are not even supposed to be, we're not even supposed to be, amicable with each other. When you wake up from this dream, I will hunt you down. Like a psychopath who tortures an animal for the first time. I will not stop until you and I are complete. What are you? Expergi Before I could finish my question, I felt my body fall into the chasm conjured below me. Images of the past flood my mind, some as clear as day, such as the day that Dad taught Mason how to ride a bike. And some only fragments that will cause something electrical to shoot down my spine if I attempt to piece it together. My brain pounds as my insides won't stop turning. It feels like everything burns and aches and burns. My eyes shut, pressing my wrist to the edge of my temples, holding this falling to end. I can only pray for this nightmare to fucking stop. Light blinds my vision as the sun seeps into the room from behind the curtain. I roll away from the window, rubbing the back of my poor head, which had just collided with the floor. A small whine escapes me and I crawl into a ball, desperately reaching out for a blanket on the bed. Hey, we're awake! Finally! Woo! After miserably failing at that task, I slowly get up and roll my eyes awake. My nose scrunching as I can't help but snort up my runny snot. I get back under the covers to shield myself from the cold air conditioning. I grab my phone from the nightstand and unplug it from its charger as I check my messages. It's so real. Never mind. I revert to checking my timeline, hoping to see some comics or jokes, just anything to take my mind off that nightmare. I start to focus on the post photo. That's the sounds of shower water hammering the tub in the bath and echoes around the room. Like usual, Kelsey is early to rise. The clothes that she had laid out herself that night before have already disappeared from the dresser, and her toiletries have vanished as well. Finally, something is time to get up. I throw my covers off my legs and pull out a random t-shirt from my suitcase. Next comes the underwear, and then the shorts, then finally my own set of deodorant and fur products. As I find cue, the shower water pounding turns to quiet tapping with the screech of the shower handle overpowering me. Hey there, how are you? Hi. Not long before Kelsey strides into the room, still drying off the top of her head. Her attire is her thumbprint on business, business casual like the usual. So you're finally up, sleepyhead? I'd grown at the lighthearted jab. Morning to you too. Hey, he actually has expressions now. Look, see? Maybe he had expressions before and I just didn't realize, but look, he's smiling a little bit. There's still some hot water if you want to hop in now. We're running late as it is. I'll try to be quick. Kelsey passed me on the shoulder as she walks over to the nightstand, picking up one of the brochures strewn across it. Are they together or are they friends? Just like, yeah. She sits cross-legged on her bed, letting her towel rest on her head as she flips through the pages. I'll try to find somewhere we can get breakfast. It's gonna be a while until we reach PDX. I mean, I'm fine with some drafter or something. And my watch? No. We're getting some actual food, not reheated hockey pucks and potatoes. I roll my eyes and exit the conversation, closing the bathroom doors and throw my fresh clothes onto the damp counter. I'm sort of scared. Mirror still fogged up from Kelsey's shower, and the muggy air makes it feel like my clothes are sticking to me. The boxers slide off with a hinge, but my shirt, fixed against my messy fur, is always a battle in the morning just to take a shower. I need to make sure that there isn't. As it falls off my head, I'm met with the same mystery I see each morning. A stupid fucking scar planted directly over my heart. I had asked my mom ages ago about how I got it, but she wouldn't entertain me. All I knew was that I didn't have it before we evacuated, and I woke up with outside of Silverstone. Evacuated. Huh. Mason just suggests that it might be some supernatural shit. His historian-driven deep sides has led him to uncover some... Oh, it's just a shower head. Alright, guys. You don't understand how much I'm scared for it to show, like, something. Ever some weird... Honestly, sometimes it's hard to tell whether I'm talking to a history major or conspiracy theorist. Whatever it is, I can't look at it for too long. Shit gives me a headache. Fuck. At once as the shampoo burned my eyes, the result of my head being in the clouds again. You okay in there? Yeah, I'm fine. I lean against the shower wall for a bit, letting myself soak in the steam stream. It's only a spike of cold water hits me that I quickly turn the shower off. Water drips against the tiles as I step out before vigorously drying my fur with the only towel left. After a few spritz of deodorant, I rustle my new shirt on, following on with old shark tooth necklace I haven't parted with since I got it. I slap my boxers and shorts on while I brush my fangs. The impromptu tango caused me to spin while I jumped on the ball of my left foot. Cinnamon spit dribbling onto the floor. One of these days, that kind of multitasking is going to get me killed. You almost done in there? It just hit 9. I spit into the sink, dropping my toothbrush into it, finally managing to cover myself. Just finished. I take dry part of the towel and fold it around my toothbrush, patting it dry before returning to the room. I come out of the bathroom. Kelsey is already on her laptop. Even when everyone else is on break, she needs to stay on a couple of online courses to stimulate her mind. What you working on? I tease her, tapping the blunt end of my toothbrush on the laptop frame. She doesn't look up from the screen, her typing becoming more and more violent instead. This idiot still hasn't graded my paper on flu guys, I'm not good with words at all. Patterns in consumer interest. I'm not even gonna. I'm in the same boat as you, Zeke. Zeke or Zeke? Guys, tell me what it is. Is it Zeke or Zeke? As he slams the laptop shut, stuffing it as well as the charger on her bag, she grabs the. And she grabs her suitcase off the desk and rolls it to the door. We're a bit late, so let's get our stuff into the car. Yeah. It finally hits me when that we really are almost there. 6 months ago, I didn't think it would actually be happening. Even the past couple of days didn't feel real in a way. An overwhelming anxiety settles deep in my throat as it sinks in. The 6 of us are actually going back today. And for some reason, I feel like I won't be able to turn back once my foot hits the sand. I shift around my seat as I look out the window to the SUV compared to Texas, Oregon. It is very wet and green. Despite that, there's nothing incredibly interesting. Everything looks different, yet the same to me. The tapping of steering wheel breaks me out of my relentless trance as I turn to Kelsey, her eyes fixated on the road. Compared to the other drivers, I noticed that Kelsey is very safe when she's behind the wheel. It's reassuring yet alien. My mom, although she's a helicopter parent, would have gotten us it close to 3 accidents by now. You doing okay? Yeah, I'm alright, I guess. How do you feel about seeing everyone again? I hadn't thought about it much, to be honest. I tried to find the word, but ultimately nothing substantial pops up. Nervous, maybe? There's no need to be. We've been talking online for months now, it's as if. I wait for Kelsey to finish her thought. The car is only filled by the sound of tires skating down the open road. She's only half right about talking. Mason, Kelsey, and Jake are relatively talkative in the group. She created for us, but Silas and I aren't very outgoing compared to them. It's also such a rare sight to even see typing notification from June, let alone actual message. I'm surprised he even decided to come back with us. Hey, can I ask you a personal question? My ears perk up as the cheetah addresses me. I'm also about eager to know what sort of details she wants to know about me. Shoot. As he turns her head back a bit as she goes before briefly turning to me with sight. Why are you really coming back to Silverstone, Zeke? You've been nothing but nervous since the moment we left Texas. I sigh my own subside as I turn back to the trees outside, letting my head rest against the cold glass window. Everyone else got to talk about their last week there. Except for me. I guess it's just a weird sense of feeling left out. Your mom didn't even tell you what happened? I scratched behind my ear or rhythmically tapped my foot against the floor of the car. This isn't exactly the conversation I wanted to have, especially with Kelsey, of all people. She wouldn't tell me shit even if I won the lottery. All I know is that one day we were living with Dad and Mason in Silverstone. and the next they divorced and we moved to bumfuck Texas. I'm not looking forward to seeing the others. I'm generally excited. No, I'm not. I am looking forward to seeing the others. I'm genuinely excited about that. But I need the answers I left here 15 years ago. The sensor in the car indicates that my answer was a bit heavier than Kelsey anticipated. We drive in the silence for half an hour before the tunnels of trees turns to a concrete jungle. Most of the quiet roadway has turned into a city full of noise. People playing on the side of the road for money, police sirens wailing as I speed down the road. You name it, it's there. Kelsey elbows my side as I take in the colorful but cold sight of Portland. She takes a sip of her soda, letting out a sigh of relief when she's able to talk. Can you text Jake that we'll be there in like 20 minutes? Yeah, just a sec. Hey, we'll be there in 20 minutes. Fuck yeah. Just meet me by the baggage claim. Will do. He said to meet him by the baggage claim when we get there. Kelsey grip around the wheel tightens to the point where the leather around. Oh, are we going to a airport? We're going to an airport to get to Silverstone. Kelsey grips around the wheel tightens to the point where the leather around it makes it an audible squeak. She lets out an exasperated sigh, taking one of her hands off the wheel to run across the back. Great, now I have to pay for parking. Hey, he and June are paying for the hotel rooms. It's the least we can do. Sure. You want me to pay for the parking? It's not much, is it? It's fine, Zeke. Her cold demeanor forcing me to clam up, returning to my phone for the majority of the time we spend in traffic. Kelsey has a reputation for being serious, but it sounds like venom is dripping off her words right now. Did something happen? What? Jake. Did something happen between you and Jake? Ask him about it. The cheetah's eyes are firmly on the road with one of her hands covering the right side of her face. Great start to the reunion. I start down the highway, spying PDX in the distance. The airport looks almost the same as when oh yes, we are going to the airport. You go ahead while I park, alright? The drawing shift in Kelsey's tone puts me out of my nostalgia, and I turn to her. Her face isn't behind a wall anymore, but her piercing eyes are somewhat discomforting. It'll be faster that way. Okay. Kelsey gives me a small but brief smile before dropping me off by the revolving doors. I attempt to give her a quick goodbye, but she speeds off once my door closes. The noise around from the cars and visitors starts to close in, and an overwhelming anxiety begins to grow. I scurry to the airport, hoping to find Jake and possibly some answers. Airport. Doesn't take long for me to spot Jake. The raccoon's sitting on one of the suitcases while the other has a greasy paper bag full of fast food placed on it. He eats his breakfast sandwich, scrolling through his phone. I think he's about to text me. The quick glance up causes his expression to brighten out of the bored face he had. Yeah, oh my god, hello! Look at you! I walk up and he pulls me into a tight one-armed hug. A bit of his sandwich grazes the back of my neck, and I try my best not to shiver in response. Damn, you fucking grew. He isn't wrong. His hug actually ended up pulling me down a bit, something I didn't expect. His height doesn't match his personality. When we were kids, Jake was the de facto big brother of the group. In a way, he was kind of like that to me. Before Mom remarried, she had hired a babysitter to watch me. That babysitter was none other than Jake's mom. Being 2 years older than most of us, he was taller than myself and the rest, bearing maybe Silas, because he stopped growing at some point. Because now I'm tilting my head down at him, and he's on his toes, wrapping his arm around me. It's good to see you, man. Honestly, I didn't think you'd come. To be honest, neither did I. Kelsey here too? She's parking the car. Told me to go ahead of her. He scratches the back of his neck with a guilty expression, draped across his face, picking up. I don't think they have like separate sprites, which is cool. It's cool. I mean, again, this novel just came out. And there's sprites for Zeke here. If anything, I would expect them to, if they aren't gonna do like sprites for the characters, probably like what they're doing for Zeke. Or yeah, Zeke. Probably something like what they're doing for Zeke here. I would expect them to do, like head expressions. Everything cool between you two? She's pissed, isn't she? I don't even need to say a word to answer that. The raccoon sighs before taking another bite of a sandwich. It's kind of between us, if that's okay. I might talk to her tonight about it. Well, if you say so. Jake starts to speed towards the door, casually flipping me off while laughing. I almost tripped trying to catch up to him, but to my surprise, I ended up beside him very quickly. There's some food for you and Kels in there as well, by the way. A peace offering? I adjust the raccoon up was my side with a toothy grin. It took 4 hours to get to Silverstone. I figured I could get you guys some shit to eat at least. God, you just had to remind me. He keeps turning to look up at me as we search for the SUV. He looks like he's shifting a laugh, so I reluctantly indulge him. What's up? Nah, it's nothing. Rock the back of his head. Though harder than I intended, Jake laughs, finally stuffing the greasy sandwich wrapper into his pocket before massaging where I struck him. Liar. Tell me. No, really. It's just... you got an accent. Yeah, you sound a bit like this. I attempted to ignore his very poor Texan accent, but he isn't wrong. Yeah, shut up. Hey, it's cute. But you get all the Texan gays with a voice like that. I don't think I want to be honest. We continue to search for the SUV. Either Kelsey parked really far into the garage, or she ditched us at the airport. What about you? You seeing anyone right now? Jake stumbles as I ask the question. I attempt to catch him, but he recovers and speeds past me, turning the corner as he answers. Not right now. Haven't found anyone I'm interested in. Shame. My last girlfriend also complained about my smoking, so I should probably kick that habit first. Hey, if there's a difference between... hold on, I'm getting a text. Alright. Yeah, like I was saying, at least the difference in Echo is that Jake kicked his habit. Not saying that this is an Echo, like this is an Echo like comparison thing or some shit. I don't know. Hey, you have any bars? I don't have Kelsey's number yet. No need to call. Jake jumps as Kelsey walks in from behind us. Despite the reunion, she doesn't attempt to put a friendly face, instead crossing her arms and wearing a blank expression. I'm looking for you guys, but I didn't see you. That's my bad. I'd like to think I'm a good liar, but judging by both their faces, I need some practice. You pulled Jake out of the airport? Yeah. Yeah, go. Oh, yeah. Well, the car's this way. The cheetah turns before either of us can. We follow, trying to keep up the pace with her. Jake clears his throat loudly to the point that it echoes through the garage. Kelsey's ears perk a bit, but dart back down just as quick. It's good to see you, Kels. Awkward silence walks alongside us after that, the anticipation of Kelsey's response being the only thing to cut through. Finally, she turns her head back towards him. She still looks serious, but her expression has softened a bit. Good to see you too. Jake looks at me like a pet would. If his eye color was just a bit darker, a good boy would unironically slip from me. Good boy. Good boy. Kelsey and I load the raccoon's luggage in the back, and he scrambles in after, climbing over his seat and accidentally kicking my headrest. Hey, be careful in there. Sorry. What's that? She points to the greased up paper bag in my hand, which I almost forgot I was holding. Hey, I'll have some breakfast sandwiches. I'm not that hungry right now. You can have mine. Kelsey's sandwich refused to eat it. Oh god, is this where fucking oh, I can save right here. Ah, shit. Is there more than 8? Oh god, there is more than 8. How many save files can I have? Jesus Christ, how many save files can I have? 600. 700. 800. 900. It's just endless. Okay. No. Okay. We're gonna end off the first video. We're gonna end off the first video right there. Hope you guys enjoyed. I like this novel so far. It's really interesting, giving me Echo vibes, which I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed the first video of Silverstone. This is the second new visual novel I'm doing this year. So, because I plan to want to finish a few visual novels, at least this year. One being Password. The second one being Spectrum of Hybrids. Echo definitely. Then Arches. Silverstone just came out, so I don't know how much is going to be in development. But, yeah. I still have one last new visual novel to play for the first time before we get into all the new, continuing all of our stuff. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a fabulous rest of your night, chat. I'm going to go get some sleep. Have a wonderful night. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye!